morning and welcome to another edition of Beyond the Pulpit. And I'm sitting with a good friend and a church member, Steve Neal, this morning. And we're not really going to talk about Steve in the church. We're going to talk about Steve and a job that you have outside the church.
Yes, Wade.
And can you tell us a little bit about your new ministry that you're doing? That's not new. You've had it for about a year now, right?
Oh, longer than that.
Longer than that. Okay.
Actually, I'm coming up on 6 years as an area director for Man in the Mirror.
Unbelievable. Time flies.
It does. It does. You know, our Man in the Mirror ministry is we basically partner and equip the local church to disciple the men of the church. Not just some of them, but try to disciple all of them.
Good deal. So how did the Man in the Mirror actually get his start?
Well, it's kind of a strange story. In 1986, Pat Morley, our founder, started a Bible study with a group of 6 men in a bar in Orlando, Florida.
Good place to start a Bible study.
And it's been going ever since. You know, from those conversations and teachings, Pat wrote a book entitled The Man in the Mirror. Mm-hmm. And that book has had a tremendous effect on the local church and how to disciple men. Matter of fact, it's one of the top 100 Christian books of this century.
Awesome. So now what job are you actually?
I am an area director, and I have basically the entire state of Tennessee.
You have 550 miles to cover.
Well,
it's in a straight line.
Fortunately, due to the miracle of the internet, it becomes easier.
Yeah, I'm sure
it
does.
I'm stationed here in Kingsport,
right?
So I try to serve the Tri-Cities area and just a little bit beyond in person.
So this morning you just told me you just came from where?
Tazewell,
Tennessee.
I was in Mooresburg before then,
right.
And after this, I'm headed toward Abingdon. So
you're going to cover the whole gamut today as far as this end. That's awesome. That's awesome. So when you get started in the church and you have the groups, I know you go in and probably help set up those groups initially, and then you turn it over to the local church, right?
Exactly. You know, we Man in the Mirror loves the local church. I mean, that's who we work with, and we want to see the local church thrive.
Sure.
And we know that even today, sometimes men are just, if they're present in the church, they may not be engaged in their church. Mm-hmm. And that's what we strive to change. We take all the way from the unchurched to the disciple, to the leadership servants.
Yeah. So y'all have all the books, you have all the training that you provide. I guess, of course, I know it's costly, but at the same time, you have all the tools.
Well, we do have the tools, and I will say that some of those tools you purchase. But I think the real benefit of myself being an area director for Man in the Mirror is whatever I do in my consultant phase, mm-hmm. I do absolutely free to the local church.
Gotcha.
We are each area director, and we're stretched all across the United States and even overseas into Southeast Asia now. Each area director is what we call private supported. Basically, that means that I go out and find ministry partners to partner with me in this ministry. Not everybody, I'm a retired individual, and so not everybody can just pick up and run all day
right.
in a ministry, but they can support through their prayers first and basically with their checkbook
so basically, you're a lot like our missionaries. They come in. You are a missionary.
We actually call ourselves missionary to men.
So, us being a missionary Baptist church, we all understand that fact that missionaries have to come in and gain support to go back to where they're at. So that's basically what you do.
That's what I do.
So, and you do have people that follow you and take care of you as far as that goes, but
we
always use more, I'm sure.
We are doing, and sometimes the local church contributes, and that's always a great blessing when the local church, because I know so many churches support ministries overseas. Mm-hmm. It's always great when you see a local church that is not just concerned about people that they'll never meet, but about the people in their own backyard.
Yeah.
And that's why Man in the Mirror loves the local churches. We want to see these churches of all sizes thrive, and we do. We work with all size churches. I don't have a super large church. I do have one church that has about 300 men in it, but most of my churches, a half a dozen men, maybe 10. But they get the same care from the area director that I have. Matter of fact, we have one area director. It's not me. I don't know how he does it. He is in contact with 117 churches every year.
That's amazing. That is
And,
amazing.
It's amazing, you know, when we go to a church, sometimes we're coaches, sometimes we're consultants, but most times we're encouragers.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised how easy it is for pastors and for men's leadership people to get discouraged.
Yes.
And so that encouraging role is a role that I particularly enjoy. Since I do work, the majority of my churches are smaller churches. This is usually the church, you know, they're lucky if they have a church secretary. So if most of it falls onto the pastor. So if I can get another man in that church interested and I start working with him, I feel like it takes a load off the pastor. Of course, we communicate with him and we let him know everything we're doing because that is who Christ ordained as the head of the church on earth.
Right. Totally understand that. All right. Well, so there you have it. If you're looking to start a men's group or you have an issue with just needing a men's group to get started in your church, you'd be the person to talk to. You have, again, Steve would be the one. Now, how you get a hold of Steve is you can get a hold of Steve with www.maninthemirror.org if you want more information about the total program. How do they get a hold of you as an area director?
Well, I have a presence on that website. If they dig around under the giving, they can find that.
Okay.
But you know, the easiest way for them to do it, I do something that most people would never dream about doing. You can call me directly, area code 423. My cell phone number is 914-5767. So that's 423-914-5767. I answer that phone from 6 in the morning till 9 o'clock at night, every day but Sunday.
Good deal. There you have it. Can't beat it. Call him yourself. And if you forget his number, you can always call the church office here, Bloomingdale Baptist Church. We have it, and we can pass it on to you. Not only does Steve busy with Man in the Mirror, he does a lot of things in our church, and we're so proud of him and so thankful for what you do, Steve. Appreciate you so much.
Well, when God calls, we need to answer.
That's for sure. We appreciate that.
Thank you, Pastor Wade, for the time.
Yes. Hope you all have enjoyed it, and check in again next week. We're going to have another new episode of Beyond the Pulpit. You have a great day.